What's up, guys? So we're talking about Adrien the Problem Broner. Adrien the Problem Broner. Adrien Broner. Now here's the thing: he's just come off a win against Emmanuel Taylor. Sorry, forgot the name. He's come off a win against Emmanuel Taylor. I interviewed Emmanuel Taylor. Emmanuel Taylor was very confident going into the fight. He thought he was going to win. He had a bit of a, I don't know, bit of a laid-back attitude to it. But anyway, right? Adrien Broner he faced Emmanuel Taylor. He did a very tough fight. I personally thought Broner was going to take him out. That's what I thought. It turned into a very competitive fight. I had Broner winning, but I thought he was going to win an easy fight. And that's why Emmanuel Taylor fight. But I just thought that Broner would show too much. And the thing is, I'm a fan of Broner because I didn't used to be a fan of him, but I am now a fan of him because I feel like he's one of the few boxers who genuinely he's doing it for the love of the sport. He's not doing it just for the money. Even though he puts it on that, he's doing it for the money. It's a bit ironic that he talks so much about money, but really he does it for the love of the sport. And he's an action-packed fighter. I mean, if you look at that combination, that pa 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 pa, boom, and he laid Emmanuel Taylor out. Now tell me that was not one of the sickest knockdowns you've ever seen, and you did not watch that about 100,000 times. You did not watch that replay. I mean, you guys watched that replay. Come on. I mean, that was a wicked knockdown. It was exciting. It was in the 12th round. They were battling. It was neck and neck, and then Broner stood up to the plate, and then right at the end, you saw him he just jumped up yeah, I'm the king of the jungle. What? Right? And I don't mean that in any sort of bad manner, right? I'm saying that Broner he just jumped up yeah, you know what I mean? I told you, yeah, I'm the man, and he did that. And you know what it is? There's certain aspects I don't like about Broner. You know, I feel like he's not a God-fearing person. I feel like he doesn't think. He talks about God and he's a believer in God, but he's not fearing of God. You know what I mean? We see all this stuff with the women and the flushing money down the toilet, and you think about poverty, and you think about leading people down the wrong path, and you think about, do you want your kids to follow this guy, and rah rah, and yes, you know, I've already said my piece on what I've got to say about that. But if you look at him in terms of just the boxing, not just what he does in the ring, but in terms of the boxing, all the excess, all access stuff, leave all that out. If you look just at the boxing, what he does in the ring, what he does out here, and what he says and who he calls out, we're talking boxing. You know what I mean? I mean, what's wrong with him? I mean, he's an action-packed fighter. Yeah, I think 78 Sports TV, he said it right, that we've come to a point now where we've accepted that, yeah, Broner is not the best fighter, but I mean, he is an action-packed fighter. That's what boxing is about, you know? You don't have to win every single fight. I mean, some of the best boxers in history, I mean, 78 Sports TV said it right. I mean, some of the greatest boxers in history were not. I mean, you look at Jake LaMotta, he's got losses, but he was Jake LaMotta. Do you know what I mean? He beat Ray Robinson, for heaven's sake. But, you know, he lost numerous times to Ray Robinson after that. But, I mean, there's so many fighters in history. You know, you look at someone like Arturo Gatti, and we think, yo, this guy was an exciting fighter and whatnot. I think that's what Adrien Broner is. I think that he will lose to certain fighters, but I think he will give any fighter trouble. Let's put him in against who is that 140? Matisse. Yeah, people will say he's gonna get wiped out, but I guarantee when you look at the bookies that he will not be a total underdog, and people eventually will start to say, you know what, Broner's got a bit of a chance against Matisse. Maybe he's learned his lesson. Maybe this, maybe that. And Broner is a fighter, and you know. And it'll be a close fight. It won't be you can't just say Matisse is just gonna wipe the floor with Broner. Yeah, that might be the case, but that, you know, it's not guaranteed that Matisse is gonna absolutely annihilate him. It's just not gonna happen like that. Broner's gonna put up a fight. We know that. He put up a fight against Maidana at 147. Why do you guys think that he's not gonna put up a fight against Lucas Matisse at 140? So, I mean, you look at someone Amir Khan at 147. Yeah, Amir Khan's gonna be the A side, but again, people are gonna think, you know, Broner can carry a bit of pop, maybe not at 147. What if he, you know, knocks Amir Khan out? And people are going to look at it from this perspective. And again, yeah, Amir Khan will be a heavy favourite, but there will be people who will be thinking, you know what, Broner's something special, he can take him out. This is my point, Broner will always put up a fight against the bulk of fighters. I mean, a rematch against Maidana, people will give him an edge. Not an edge, but people will give him a shot at Maidana. You know? Anybody in 147. Who else is there? There's Sean Porter. There's Devin Alexander. There's Kell Brook. in 140, there's numerous fights. There's Danny Swift Garcia, and people will always give Broner a chance, and I think that's very important. Like once he gets so crap that, and we see like he gets shown up again and again, like 2-3 times, that he doesn't stand a chance, then your star power fades. But like people are under this illusion that you have to keep winning on losses, eradicating a career. No, that's not the case. I promise you. Like look at Matisse. Matisse has lost several times. He's still a name. Look at Ruslan Provodnikov. Still a name. You know, people are still talking about them. I mean, he's lost numerous times, Ruslan Provodnikov, now, but he's still that knockout artist. He's still that guy. Broner's got a different type of excitement. He boxes well. He does antics in the ring. You always want to see, is he going to dry hump the guy? You know, you want to see, like, is he going to do some next crazy? So is he going to throw his opponent halfway across the ring? Is he going to pick them up and dash him? Is he going to knock the opponent out? Because he's got a bit of pop as Broner as well. He can knock you out at 140. He can pop. I mean, he knocked down Emmanuel Taylor. So, you know, we know the guy can pop. I mean, it was starting to get to a point where I was thinking, yo, Broner has no power at 140 or 147. What's going on? And then he showed up. Boom, he showed up. Now, we look at Broner, what's next for him? He's really... I'm going to tell you straight, from behind the scenes, what I've been hearing is this guy wants Maidana, but he ain't going to get Maidana. That's the bottom line. He's not going to get Maidana. I mean, what Maidana did to him, if you were Maidana, would you really want a rematch after, you know, on YouTube, you've got that? So here's the thing, like, with Broner, I think that Broner is... I just think Adrien Broner is a really... I think he's an exciting, action-packed fighter. One of the most action-packed fighters in boxing at the moment. My favourite fighter, personally, is Saul Canelo Alvarez. Do I think Canelo can beat anyone? No, I don't think so. I think if he goes fights, like some fast, rapid fighters, he could get beat. But I think that the fighter that was supposed to beat him was Erislandy Lara, and people felt he won the fight. But really, he didn't win the fight. He did not get the decision. And there are people saying, numerous people saying, that Canelo won the fight. So based upon that, even if you personally feel like Canelo lost, it doesn't matter. Because if there are people, you have to look at it from other people's opinions. Like my perspective is that Canelo won. Now, you might disagree, but that's not the point. The point is that Canelo got the decision on the night, and there are several people who felt Canelo won. So just because you feel like Canelo didn't win because of the way you score, because maybe you don't score aggressiveness as much as I do. But I score aggressiveness and effective aggressiveness and throwing to the body, landing shots, and, you know, what did Lara really do? Did he hurt Canelo? And yeah, he landed a few shots, but he was running too much, and whatever the case may be. But if there are numerous people that felt that he won the fight, then, you know, you gotta like acknowledge that, look, Lara did not get the win. He didn't get that W. Canelo got it. Okay? And here's the thing now. So Canelo's my favourite fighter, but I don't think he's unbeatable. Right? And it's the same, and just, you don't... People say that Floyd Mayweather is my favourite fighter. Why? Because he's undefeated. Is that what boxing is about? No, it's not. That's not what boxing is about. Ali wasn't undefeated. He lost to Joe Frazier. But people loved him in Zaire when he went to face George Foreman. And I don't see... And I don't want to compare Ali to today's fighters. Like, come on. But do you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm comparing in terms of, like, likeness. And Broner is an exciting action-packed. He's a likeable... I won't say he's a likeable character, but he's a character. He is a character. And, you know, he's funny. His character is really charismatic. And I feel that fighters like him and Canelo can carry the sport. People think that someone like Mikey Garcia is going to carry the sport. And I like Mikey. I think he's brilliant, and I think that he will continue to win. It's going to be very difficult to beat the guy. But that's not the be-all, end-all of boxing. Boxing is a sport where you have to be charismatic, you have to talk, you have to create knockouts, you have to at least be able to hurt your opponent, you know? And yeah, you can outbox your opponent, but you have to... I mean, Ali, right? Ali was someone, yeah, he could outbox you, but he could knock you down. He had knockouts as well, and knockdowns, at least. I mean, he knocks George Foreman out. Do you get what I mean? And you have to have that little bit of pop, and that's what Broner's got. He wants Matisse next, or Maidana. He wants to eradicate that Maidana thing and say, look, that I can beat you, Maidana. He might not get Maidana. I think Matisse is a good fight for him. I think it's a fight he can win. Truly, I think Broner can win. I think it's a dangerous fight, but I think it's a fight he needs. He's going to have to eventually step up on that plate. People need to stop concentrating on this undefeated thing, because it means jack crap. There ain't going to be another Mayweather for a very long time, but you will get action-packed, explosive, good fighters like Saul Canelo Alvarez, like Broner, like Kamir Khan, like Kell Brook. You know, he'll lose some, but he'll win some. And, you know, just because Mayweather's undefeated doesn't mean anything, because the truth of the matter is, had Mayweather faced Pacquiao, Amir Khan, had he faced these numerous fast boxers, like there's Timothy Bradley, there's Devin Alexander, and I agree with what Devin Alexander said to an extent, but it's not just black fighters, it's the boxers of the sport, because you can be, what's the difference between Manny Pacquiao and Willie Pep, really, in their footwork, and their boxing, like, is similar, you know what I mean, like, Pacquiao has tremendous footwork, but Pacquiao's Filipino, Willie Pep was white, you know, so, like, I don't think it's the colour that makes so much of a difference, I think it's the pedigree of where the fight comes from. But anyway, moving on, don't get me wrong, Mayweather is a brilliant fighter, don't ever get that twisted, he's by far the best in this era, and I credit him 100%, but, like, you know, it's just this thing now about Adrien Broner, can he beat Matisse? Because I think that's going to be his next fight. I don't see him taking another tune-up or cherry-pick, or Manu Taylor turned out not to be a cherry-pick fight, but it was kind of, he could have faced a better opponent, but I'm happy with Manu Taylor. It was a good fight. It was a good opponent. It wasn't Rod Salka versus Danny Garcia. You know, that fight right there, Danny Garcia versus Rod Salka. I think Danny Garcia, like, he's not as much to blame now that I look back at it, because a friend of mine said something which really made me think, right, you know what, you're right. So Danny Garcia, when you look at him when he faced Amir Khan, look at him when he faced Morales twice, look at him when he faced Kendall Hall and all these fighters, you'll see a trend where he says, you know, I don't pick my fighters, that's not my job, I just go in there and take them out, and he's continued to say that even with Rod Salka. So, you know, you have to give him the benefit of the doubt that, look, when he faced Matisse, when he faced all these guys who were saying the same thing, I mean, had he said then that, look, yeah, I want this guy, and I'm a killer on this and that, and then, yeah, you can say, why are you not saying that anymore? But that's not the case. If you want to blame someone, ain't Danny Garcia, you have to blame, you know, yeah, Danny Garcia can call other fighters out, and he has some say, but he's not been like that, and, you know, it's fine, you know, it's fine for him to be like that I'm fighter and whatever, right, but I think that fighters should call people out, creates more excitement, but then Danny Garcia knows that just because he calls someone out doesn't mean the fight's going to happen. But moving back to Adrien Broner, Danny Garcia apparently is sticking at 140 for a little while. Is Broner going to fight Danny? I don't think so. I think the fight that needs to be made is Adrien Broner versus Lamont Peterson or versus Lucas Matisse. Don't see the Peterson fight happening. Could do, actually, never know. But to be honest, I see him fighting Matisse next. I think that's the fight that makes sense. I think it's going to be, because it's an Argentinian against Broner. People are going to say, because this is like, see, Broner versus Matisse is similar to Maidana versus Broner too. Do you get what I'm saying? It's similar because of the aspects of, like, you know, like Matisse is a banger, he's 140. Maidana's at 147, he might not want to fight anymore for multiple reasons. I'm not going to go into that. But you get what I'm saying. I think it's a good fight, and I think Broner can win it. I think it's definitely a winnable fight. People are going to say that Matisse will kill him. And Matisse is a good fighter, brilliant fighter, he's the machine, but I think that Broner doesn't get enough credit after the Maidana performance. I think he was way out of his weight comfort zone against Maidana. But let me know what you think. Leave a comment section below. Subscribe as always. What do you guys think? Do you think Broner could take out Matisse? I think it's a very competitive, really good fight.